Okay, so this video is to quickly walk through some of the EnCase setup and issues that you should know about as we get into the more in-depth assignments and processing jobs that you're going to need to run. So EnCase, we kind of say it's hitting the wall. There's known issues with 708 and 709. In essence, they like a lot of disk space, and realistically, it is best to nest EnCase evidence in case files on a different drive. So what I would recommend is you should have already for the class installed it on the C drive, and then ideally put your case files on a different drive as well as your evidence files if you can. If you can't, you can leave it on the C drive, but you're going to have to try to make enough space to do that. So basically suggestions are move the case and evidence files to an alternate USB or separate drive. You also need to make sure that Bitdefender, Kaspersky, any of the programs like that, as far as antivirus and malware detection and things like that, are actually disabled as far as stopping EnCase. They will often interfere and stop your processing jobs. If you can't move it to an alternate space, as I mentioned just a moment ago, you might want to delete the previous case assignment files and then empty as many drives as you can, or empty as much space out as you can, and of course empty your recycle bin. Okay, so what we're going to want to demonstrate right now is actually setting up a case on an alternate drive. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is we've got EnCase running. I'm going to actually make a new case, and then we're going to call this HSCJ 310, and we're going to say this is assignment 5. So then we're going to need to change the base case folder, and we're going to, in this example, I have an external drive, and I am going to say we're making a new case. We're going to do HSCJ 10-85. I'm going to also use that for the primary evidence cache. All right, and then I'm going to set also the backup to the same drive in case location. So it's no longer any of it is going to my drive. So obviously then you would put case number CJ310-85, and then of course you would put your name, and we would say okay. We're going to allow those to all be on the alternate drive. So now I've made the case, so now I need to add the evidence. You should have downloaded the evidence from Blackboard and then loaded it onto that external drive. So I'm going to go into where I have that located on that drive. So again, it's on my external passport drive. I'm going to select the first file because 4 and 5 are using the same files. So that's now loaded. All right. And obviously right now it is verifying the assignments file that we just loaded. You're going to want to wait for that to run and to finish up. And then what you can do is then obviously we would go into the actual image file from the hard drive. Right now it's kind of parsing things out, so we're going to open that up and we're going to let that build for a minute. Shrink that a little bit. I got about 13 minutes there for that to verify. But so for instance, now I can actually go in and queue up my processing. And so now I can choose what I need to do here and then kick that off. I'm not going to kick that off, but this is where you would set up processing as shown in the assignment instructions and then select OK. At that point, if we've got everything set up correctly, so we've got it off of the C drive, we've got enough space for it, I would suggest you're going to need about 50 gig of free space in order to have that run effectively. And as mentioned, you need to make sure things like Bitdefender, Kaspersky, and other types of malware detection and antivirus are not interfering with EnCase's processing. When those things are in place, then generally what we see is the The processing runs fine for EnCase, and then you should wrap up and be all set. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the screencast. So this is an example of how to set that up. If you need to, rewatch that from the beginning. If you have questions, please drop me an email. Thanks.